Um, I guess just looking over what Jeremy created. What are people's questions?
So where does this actually get posted? Like, is this a YouTube video that we make that uses some screencasting software that will kind of like screencast-o-matic where we lead somebody through, like Google Classroom in our case?
Sorry, I was thrown off because Jeremy is sending us messages on the Google document, but he's not in our video hangout.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the end result is of this. I know we have to show how we're using Google Classroom or how it can be utilized.
I think it's supposed to, like, the way I was reading it, it's the end product is a lesson on whatever topic you choose. So Google, it's a lesson on Google Classroom, and I think it's supposed to be delivered in like a a distance learning fashion. So we can use like Screencast-O-Matic and YouTube or whatever, and then post that. I think I'm gonna open up the assignment and reread it because maybe I'm missing some of the clarifying points. Does anyone else have a better grasp on the goal, like end result?
Okay. I'm back now.
So everyone's just kind of telling their thoughts of what this project should be about. And I'm still trying to share this Google Hangout thing.
Let's see.
All right, I think I'm sharing the right one that actually shows what Jeremy says and the changes that we make.
Okay.
So I guess with Google addresses, if you guys have Google accounts,
Yeah.
If you could add them, because I think I see Jeremy, mine, and Casey.
Where do we add it?
Just right on that document.
Okay.
It says Google addresses.
Okay, I'm on my iPad and it's because I couldn't pull it up on my computer and I'm trying to download it, but so it won't let me like get into the documents. I guess because I'm on my iPad. I don't know.
You talking about the document that we're all editing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can kind of see it, but I can't. It won't let me. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, and that might be an iPad to Google Documents.
Yeah. I'm trying to pull it up on my computer.
Does anyone know if Jeremy could hear us, or is he only part of that little chat that's happening on the side?
I think he's a part of the chat that's happening on the side.
So I'm reading the ISD Project description from Blackboard. And in the description it says, in this course you will develop a web-based or mobile module or workshop based on best practices for distance education, design, and learning. The final project is comprised of 4 items. One is an instructional design report, which includes the link to our web-based module. The second is 2 recorded ISD team planning sessions, so this is one of them. 3 is a web-based or mobile lesson, module, or workshop. And then 4 is a statement of contribution. So we need a mobile lesson is a big one, and the instructional design report as the 2 major pieces. The recorded sessions are just us meeting like this, and then a statement of contribution, I'm sure, is just us saying, this is what I did for the project.
Guys, how do you feel about just doing a workshop on best practices in education? Because that's one of the options as well. Using the Chrome as the medium.
I think that would work if we just describe how Google Classroom can be a best practice for distance education.
And yes.
It's really a facilitator of best practices. It allows you to utilize all the best practice,
So we would all be basically professional development presenters to the rest of the class?
Probably so. And then we could just break it off in different aspects of letting people present.
So I guess I don't know much about Google Classroom. I don't know everyone else. I know we've talked about it with a couple people, but where's everyone at with their knowledge of this type of system?
Well, I have it. I just haven't spent a lot of time on it. Mainly, I didn't add my students this year because they don't have Google emails, and so it wouldn't let me. But because I do have it, I mean, I can look into it and see more about it.
So maybe that could be one of the components of someone breaking down the history of it, and then someone else do another point on the functionality in different interdisciplinaries, and then maybe just break it down in different parts that people take different pieces.
And so next week for Module 3, the ISD progress update, which is supposed to be a rough draft of our analysis. We're supposed to during Module 3, you will collaborate with your ISD team and complete a rough draft of the following components of the ISD report. So by the end of next week, we need to have a need identification, a goal statement, task analysis, and context and learner analysis. You're also highly encouraged to collaborate via synchronous technology. Remember that you need 2 sessions. So 4 components, rough draft, due at the end of next week on the analysis. But it doesn't really describe what each of those components is, like the need identification, goal statement, task analysis, content, and learner analysis. It doesn't really describe what each of those pieces entails.
We could ask for feedback from the instructor. She could fill the gaps in for us, and then we could have a better drive.
Right.
So I could shoot her an email asking her to give us more volume on those 4 components.
That'd be great. Does anybody else have experience with Google Classroom? No.
I do not.
I don't either.
The Army doesn't use Google Classroom. I brought up the assignment appendix, and I'm just looking for more information in that.
Yeah. Looking ahead at week 4, we have another rough draft due.
There's the task analysis, which is, there's the task analysis and a context and learner analysis.
Right.
That what? I don't know what she means by a flowchart form listing the major and minor steps. So I guess just an outline of what our workshop would cover would be the flowchart.
Do we have an example, or like the one that she shared on our live session? Like, did she share? Did she like for our live session? She shared like an example of somebody else's. I don't know if we have access, if we can look at that.
Actually, if you go into this week's assignment folder, there's a link there on resources, and there's a instructional unit that she provides, and you can download it in PDF. There's a model. There's a model with a flow chart. There's actually 2 models and 2 flow charts in that. Let me see.
Okay.
See. Let me see if I can insert it so you can see what I'm saying. I'll share it with you right quick, and then you'll.
Do you need me to stop sharing my screen for you to share yours?
I can actually go over and let me get the document first, and then I'll.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. I'm uploading it now, and then I'll. The screen just stalled on me. It's kind of white.
You said it was under the learning materials part of Module 2?
Yeah.
So where do we go to see the document that you guys are working on?
The classroom meeting one?
Yeah, like where
On the left-hand side,
Uh-huh.
you'll see group chat is the first little box. I provided a link there where if you click that link, it'll open it up.
I mean, like, yeah, like the live document, is that where I go to get it?
Yeah. I wonder if Jeremy is on YouTube, because at the bottom of my screen it says I have 1 viewer, and I wonder if he's just viewing it from our YouTube feed
Probably so.
instead of being part of the Google Hangout location.
I remember him saying that, I think it was him that said that he would still be at his school during this, and so he was going to see if they could unblock.
Oh,
so
that's
he
true.
could attend. And so I'm wondering if he encountered a glitch with all that.
He just responded yes.
Okay.
Did you guys see the document?
No, still just seeing you, but I'm looking on Blackboard. I think in the same place as you are. I'm on the collaborative project part.
Okay. Um, that's good. We can do it like this. We'll put it in another doc so it's not so. That's not what I wanted. Let's see that. Let's do.
Good now.
Oh, I think we got Jeremy.
There we go. Okay.
Huh?
Welcome.
Yeah. Okay. I've never done it with the YouTube thing before. I thought that I had to. I couldn't get it to open through the Hangout. I thought I had to go to the link, and that's where it took me. So
Okay.
I know how to do that.
I'm get ready. I'm get ready. Where's the document?
Jeremy, do you have any experience with Google Classrooms?
Not really. I have just started setting it up a little bit. I have an understanding how everything kind of links together, and a teacher that I can talk to that does use it more extensively. So kind of starting from scratch. Yeah.
I think that's where most everyone in this group seems to be.
Yeah.
We don't really have any experts here, so we're all newbies with this one.
So do we want to go another route? Do you want to choose something else?
I think there's a pretty big lag here.
Jeremy, do you have any experience with Google Classroom?
Not really. I have just started a little bit.
That's funny.
I have an understanding how everything kind of links together, and teacher I can talk to that does use it more extensively. So kind of starting from scratch. Yeah.
I think that's where everyone in this group seems to be.
Yeah.
We don't really have any experts here, so we're all newbies with this one.
So do we want to go another route? Do you want to choose something else?
I think there's a pretty big lag here.
It's really weird to hear my own voice coming through that.
That's funny.
Okay, guys, can you see my screen?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, let me show you what I was talking about with the model.
So,
Okay. See it now?
No.
No.
Where are you putting it? Can you put a link
So do you want to go
There, in the chat, the bottom right, it says choose links. I think you can upload it there.
Okay.
Hear my own voice. Let me do that.
Did you get it? Okay, guys, I think it's my screen.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see what I was talking about with the model. See it now?
No.
No.
Where are you putting it? Can you put a link there in the chat? The bottom right, it says choose links. I think you can upload it there.
Okay.
Hear my own voice.
You get it? Okay, guys, I think it's my screen.
Sorry.
Okay, let's see what I'm talking about with the model.
Where are you putting it? There's a lot of feedback on someone's now.
Sorry.
Hey, did you guys see the link in the chat?
I did see the link. I'm trying to open it now.
Okay.
Which link are we talking about? Oh.
We need permission?
Hold on a second, guys. Just waiting for it to come to me.
There's a lot of feedback on someone's now.
Did you guys see the link in the chat?
I did see the link. I'm trying to open it now.
Okay.
Which link are we talking about? Oh.
We need permission?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wondered because it seems like there's a big lag sometimes.
Yeah. That was good, yeah.
Christy, what are you sharing there?
It's the PDF from the resources for Module 2.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to try to get your accounts, and that will probably let it go through faster.
You can also just share with anyone who has the link. It might be faster too. So are you guys feeling out of your element with trying out the Google Classroom things? Because my thought was that I really wanted to learn how to do this, and that's kind of why I was pushing for it. I saw this as something I wanted to learn and I'm planning to implement. And so even within maybe 3 weeks, 2 weeks from now, that I want to have it set up and ready to go for a summer class that I'm teaching. So
Wow.
I know for me that it might be a lot to learn, but I feel like it's a learning curve I can handle. I've got a little more time to play around at school because I have my AP classes are finished.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so that's where I am. I'm going to be learning a lot and experimenting a lot, and so it's going to be putting that then into lessons that other people can do as I learn. Are you guys comfortable with that kind of approach with it? I mean, I'll share as I go, and hopefully we can put it together.
I'm not sure who was on when I was talking about earlier, but there are a couple teachers in my school that are using Google Classroom currently. It's not implemented well, or as well as I think it should be or could be, but they have some experience with it, so I can talk to them and kind of get some sort of idea as to how it works and what it looks like and how to use it. We're wrapping up, of course, for the school year, so implementing it in my classroom isn't something that is really feasible for me to do, but it is something I want to learn how to do for future. So I'm on board with Google Classroom. I know it's kind of a steep learning curve because we're trying to do assignments in the present based on something that we're not really familiar with, but I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm strangely comfortable with that idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't have a lot of experience with, well, I don't have any experience with it, but it's something I want to know more about, and I'm not afraid of the challenge, and I think there's so much it can be used for that learning how to implement it will just help us.
Yeah, I've been using Google Docs a lot more in my classes, doing like collaborative writing and things like that, and I just like the way that Google Classroom should be able to integrate that a little bit better with my, rather than using Edmodo. So I think educationally I have ideas of ways to use it, just because it's going to be similar to other, like other things I've used. We do the same thing, but it's going to probably integrate things better. I've used things like Google Forms and Google Sheets and all those things, and I think once you get a grasp of Classroom, we'll be able to integrate everything a little better.
So what if we just kind of took a position, that maybe this weekend or by Sunday we each try and get like 5 resources regarding Google Classroom's capabilities or how it works, how to how-tos, what not to do, things like that, and we all just share it in a group email with each other so we can all kind of study up on it before we really start completing assignments based on it. It could be YouTube videos or atomic learning through Liberty University or stuff. If we have peers that are using it, it can be their perspective or whatever they have to offer in terms of advice or knowledge about it. Does that sound like a starting point to at least get us a little bit of forward momentum?
Yeah, I think so. I think one of the big things that we might want to do in this project is look at the different features and break those up and try to become experts at different features instead of learning everything at once.
I think that is a manageable way to chunk it because I think, I'm not positive, but I think Google Classroom has a lot of features, so I guess that would make sense. I'm not sure how that ties into the individual assignment components because I'm really unclear about those. I think that's what I'm struggling. That's what I'm struggling with most right now. It's not knowing Google Classroom. What I'm struggling with most is understanding what's expected of us throughout the course of this assignment.
Did you guys see the sample web pages that she sent, the sample project during the? I'll put the links here in the Google Doc. But there were. Let's see, no, that's not the right one. Sorry. But there were a few websites. I think that what we're going for, from what I understand, looking at these websites, is we're just trying to create a website that can teach how to use this.
Okay.
And so maybe, yeah, there they are. Maybe take a look at those. And I think that what we would want to do, if I remember, it's been a few days since I looked at these, is maybe look at one function of Google Classroom on one page, and then break the different things, like maybe how to integrate different docs or like links to docs and Drive and all that in another one, and maybe another one how to use Google Docs in a classroom, and another one how to use Google Forms to do different things. And maybe if we could, like, if you want to do that kind of idea of expert thing, like each people being responsible for a different aspect, that could become one page each. And
I guess one problem I have is I don't have a domain name where I can actually look at Google Classroom right now and see the features of it. So, like, you guys have schools where you have a domain you can access and kind of dig into, but I'm kind of at a loss at that. Like,
Maybe
I don't
there's
know.
another responsibility that you could kind of take over, whether it's making sure everything is in APA format, or if you want to be like the group leader or whatever, and keep our butts all in line and make sure that we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing by the deadlines and everything. I mean, I think there's a lot of responsibilities in this project. If we have one person who doesn't have access to it directly, and maybe you can't become an expert on one of the features, then I think there's probably some other things we could still use you for.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat. I don't have access to that because I teach adult ed, and we do not use Google Classroom at all. It's
Okay.
not.
Okay. Well, we might have to see what kind of permissions, because I just thought it was something that is connected to like other Google Plus things. Is it do you know if it's a paid thing, or?
I know when I tried to download it, I can create my own domain for $8 a year. So maybe that would be something where I'll just create a domain. And I mean, $8 isn't that much. I'm willing to part with that.
Yeah.
And we can create our own how-to domain that people access to go to our Google Classroom. And I could use that to make like a wiki space, but in Google Classroom, teaching other people how to use Google Classroom.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Because it seems counterproductive to create a wiki space or a blog location to teach someone about something that is already online. Like, our project should be on the application that we're instructing people how to use. Just an idea.
I agree.
Right.
I like that.
So when we submit it, if the project is on Google Classroom and it's a lesson on how to use Google Classroom that's accessed through Google Classroom, then that means Dr. Kordov will need to have access to it. So before we put anything on there, or before we choose that as our platform to present, we need to make sure that she actually has a domain for it. Is that right?
Well, we could find out if there's a domain that we can use out there, or I'm willing to just spend $8 and we can create our own domain, and then we'll have full permissions of the location that we create this project at. And we can. So when I went and was downloading it, it said, "What domain are you going to be a part of?" So anyone that's new to Google Classroom can put this domain in and have access to learn how to use Google Classroom.
Okay. So anyone could join it, basically, as long as you give them permission.
Right.
Okay.
Just like the wiki spaces, everyone it had to be set to public, and it had to have people's permissions put in there.
Gotcha.
So I guess that's one thing that I'll do after this meeting. I'll work on getting a domain name, and I'll email Dr. Kordov to see if there's a domain name we could use instead of purchasing one.
Okay.
And then I'll email her to fill in the gaps about the model and what her expectations are around it.
Right. I see the links that you posted on the Google Doc, Jeremy. And so I want to look at these and kind of get a feel for what this project is ultimately supposed to look like. Because I don't even know like what kind of responsibilities to
delegate.
Right, to delegate, or to volunteer for, or like I don't even know what we're looking at here.
Yeah, I am putting some of the action, like some of the things we have talked about, down at the bottom. Some group tasks, at least. And maybe our expectations for now are just that idea of researching everything.
And I'm going to give you guys this. This is something that I have, and I'll just put it in the chat box right quick, and you guys can go to it and look at it. And when you click on that and open it, it's got a lot of resources there to help us pinpoint which direction we want to go in. Did you get that link in the chat?
Oh, I got it.
And when you open it, it's got an enormous amount of resources guides to Google for Education. And lot of information that we could, all look at and just see. They even have it for Google Chromebooks. So.
Is the end result supposed to be, I just want to make sure I'm clear, the end result is supposed to be basically a webinar or distance learning module for instructors, not for students to use Google Classroom, but for instructors to be using it in their classroom. Is that, am I reading that right?
Yes, you're right. That's exactly what I'm getting from it as well.
Okay.
Now, does anybody know what exactly we need to turn in by the end of the week, other than this meeting?
I think this week it's our meeting and stating this is what our group is going to work on. For us to be stating like, okay, we're committing to Google Classroom.
Okay.
Well, I didn't even think we had to submit a meeting this week. I think it just said
Two total.
What technology are you going to use to create a meeting?
Right.
So
Okay.
we're ahead of the game by doing one of our synchronous meetings today.
Go team.
Yay.
That's what it says exactly. Or it's just to do exactly what he just said.
So I'm thinking if we all look at those 3 links that Jeremy embedded in the Google Doc and look at the examples, kind of get a feel for what what the goal is, and then try to collect some resources that are informative about Google Classroom and send those to each other throughout the remainder of this week, then maybe we can meet again next week and really kind of hash out, okay, here's what we think it should look like, what are we missing, and then figure out who's going to do what in that ultimate scale, grand scheme of things.
I agree. Now, it does say for submission, everything has to be an APA. We have to submit the same thing, and there has to be a cover page. So there should be, I guess, just something saying this is our topic, here's our team members. So does someone want to put together a Word document with that information?
Yeah, it says everyone, I can do that, but it says everyone must submit it.
Right, so in an email, we'll attach it, and then we'll all submit the same document.
Got it.
Oh, that's for this week, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you look at the module 2, the little description that's right on the agenda.
Yeah. I've got so many tabs open right now, I'm losing.
It says you will submit a list of team members and the synchronous meeting synchronous technology that you will use. So Google Hangouts is our device.
Right.
And then it says, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
But just so we're submitting the same thing.
Right. In APA format.
Yeah.
Oh, now I see what you're talking about, Bob. I just found what you were looking at. I gotcha.
All right.
Okay, so is there anything else that we need to determine tonight or discuss or questions?
I don't think so.
Maybe next meeting time?
Yeah.
Is this a good time for everybody?
Could we move it up 1 hour, please? 7 instead of 8?
7's kind of hard because I get out right at 4. So I mean that's fine. I just won't be there right at 7
Okay.
because I'm on Pacific. I'm on the West Coast.
Gotcha.
What if we did 7:15 so that you're not as late, you're not missing as much? We can go ahead and get started at 7:15, done by 8.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Would that be better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we want to try next Tuesday again?
Wednesday or Tuesday?
Oh, today's Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Whoops. Jeremy, how does it work for you?
No, that's good for me. That would be 6:15 a.m. What did we say again? 7:15 Eastern.
Yes.
I actually don't know that if I'll be available. That is my last day of school. I'll be grading finals that night.
Oh, yay!
Yeah. So might have to turn my grades in the next morning, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'll look at my schedule and let you guys know, though.
Okay.
Okay. So, let's see. 6:15 Bangkok. And would that be 4:15 on the East West Coast?
So 27th is what we're shooting for, correct?
Yeah.
I sent that file to you, Jeff.
Wait, 28th, right? No, I'm on the. Yeah, I'm a day ahead of you guys.
And I might be jumping out of a plane that day, so it might be a longer day for me. Good old Army training.
I might feel like jumping out of a plane that day.
Would Tuesday be better for anyone? Or?
Tuesday would be better for me.
That would be fine with me.
Yeah. Next week is my only issue, so.
So
So we want to say
26th.
Tuesday instead?
Is Kristen still with us?
Yeah,
How's your schedule look?
yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I guess then let's try and get some resources circulated through the group email about Google Classroom in general, and then we'll meet again Tuesday at 7:15 and take it from there.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right. All right. See you guys next week.
All right.
All right,
See you next
bye.
week.
Bye.
Good luck, everyone.
Bye.